I will do a demo with more like the freestyle. Not just we can do the same painting in freestyle what we do. Okay, maybe the composition will be a little different too. So it will still a slant stalk for the flower, but I would make it just one stroke, a upward concave or a curve line, so we don't need to make the angular bend. Okay, I'm going to load I just use the rest of the paints here. So I just take all the white, mix with the remaining color to get a pink, light pink color. Because this is too even, so I'm going to add a little other color to it, but not fully changed. So half of that is light, half is a little pink, darker. And I will do the outer petals first. In 写意 painting or the freehand style, we do it from the bottom up. So you kind of press like this, right, to keep the gradation. And you just like, you don't like just one print stamp. You do it in several strokes like that. And then you change direction a little downwards, or you can finish this part like that, and then change to this part and add this. So it goes in and out, to avoid that chrysanthemum or whatever, the ball shape, right? So it's more natural, right? You understand? So this outer shape is not round completely. It goes in and out, right? And we can add a little smaller one if you want to make it more varied. And so until my light color is exhausted, but I tend to make it symmetrical. I tell myself not, but you see, if I keep adding it, the two sides will be the same. So I just want to keep it asymmetrical. One side is heavier, the other side is lighter. Yeah, my natural tendency always make it rounded. I fill in the gap. I would make it round. That's not good. So what we learned from this study is to vary the shape. Okay, so now my brush is exhausted. I can reload with a little bit light, but more red. I just clean up this saucer with all the red, the remaining carmine, and I also get some dark rouge this time. Last time I don't have rouge, now I have rouge. Okay, so I'll use a blotting paper just in case I need. And then this paper is very absorbent, unsized paper, single Xuan. I use detergent, like a 5% or less, very thin detergent to soak it and let it dry. It become even more, and it creates very fuzzy and like a irregular edge when it bleeds with this treatment. So now I'm going to do the dark just on the top side, right? So 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Large, small, medium, always good idea to have. And you can have some small ones in the middle like that. You can kind of cut in the top line with the dark like this, right? And this is a little bit flat. It's probably okay, so, but you can certainly do this if you want to break that. Okay, but then you have to kind of balance it from here or something. So when you start to add, when you look at the whole balance, whole thing, you need to change. It's probably okay now. So
I found it, Henry.
Yeah, let me see. Replace light. Yeah, oh, you did this in last year, 1 year ago. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, I like the overall effect. You can trim off the extra paper. You look good.
Yeah.
The leaf is a little, could be a little smaller or lower. Maybe yeah, I think we always have that tendency. The leaf could be a little far from the so it's more like launched.
Right. Yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you got it. Yeah. Basically, it's very nice. So let me replace my screen so you can continue. I try to not repeat the mistake I just mentioned, but I already made the flower too big. So we have to change the composition a little bit. Let me show you what we can do. Because this paper is too small, if we try to keep the same size, the flower, we have to cut out, trim off some leaves, right? So the first thing we're going to do is to get a light green. I only have this orange color, that's fine. And yeah, or you can get some yellow and indigo to get green color. And you can mix a little bit blue, something, whatever. Just a light green. If you dilute it, a dirty one is fine, you know, like that. And then you can add a little bit vermilion to make it tender. And in this case, I think we need to try, but let me just see. Okay, I want to avoid the bleed here, so that's just see that a little bit too. You can blot it. That's another thing you can do. So that will reduce the bleeding also. So do it again. This 3 strokes we just learned. The stem, right? You can add this leaves also, and then okay. And this connection is a little bit maybe interrupt that with a little leaf. You can cover this part with a leaf. So let me do a tender leaf, just like those colors. One stroke is not enough. Add another one. Outside in is easier. I'm trying to get that shape in one stroke. Not enough. Just when you repeat, you must use using blotting paper maybe. Okay, so we don't have leaf for the large. Just a little hint. Just use ink. Keep it flat would be a good idea. So just keep it low. And you can have a little direction pointing to the top. Rest is done. Keep it down. Low profile. That will keep the flowers standing out. All right. So I think it's always a good idea if you do an elaborated style or gombi even, and then you do a spontaneous style to release the energy accumulated from the other style. Okay. And if you think this is still troublesome, we can just make it into a larger group, like always, you know, have 3. Make another triangular shape here. That would hide the weakness there. Okay, you can try a little bit. Then you use opaque color to do the stamen, the pollen. here's something we can make a decision. You can consider this white as a pedal, but it's very common that you in painting we consider like the flower is cut in half. You see the center. So people want to sometimes you want to see that. How we do that? We use a little bit green, yellow, something to dot the seed part, the center, the seed, and it's a green kind of, and then you can if not enough, you can add more dark because we really want to contrast. We already got some up there, but the pollen, this stamen is very close to the seed, so we want to fill in some dark there even, so that when the yellow comes in, it will be really strong contrast. So I just fill in that space with some darkest dark, the shady part. And then you have to wait, dry or dry it. Okay, now we make I got some white ink. It's almost dry, so I must use it before it gets completely dry. It's like a yogurt now. It's like yogurt. It's for kind of illustrators use this, but it's like a gouache. Yeah, basically it's liquid gouache. I think we need to have the cool yellow, lemon yellow, or something. I got lemon yellow or gamboge yellow. So, another tip for you, if you want to keep the color from drying, you put it in a plastic and put a wet paper towel in it. It will not only keep it from dry, also it could make it even back to re-melt it. You can make it it's very effective. You can even make the drying paint to come back to its original state. So that's my tip to share with you. Okay, I use this tiny detail brush. This is a red hair brush. It used to be an outliner, but now it's getting bold. So I use this as a small brush. You paint this in three groups. Don't have to be just one center. It could be a little scattered. They grow from the space between petals, but generally it's concentrated in the middle, more concentrated in the middle. Just radiate from center, and I think we can use a little dark to dot the pistil or something. The center. You don't have to, I think. Sometimes they got the split or something. You can use this kind of dark, even with ink, with rouge, to fill in the space between the yellow, if needed, to modify it or to cover up the extra or make it more stand out. All right, to the accent, to add accent to it, to make it more contrast. But be very careful not to overdo it. Just as a fixing or rescue measure, you can fill in the gap between like if you made a pollen too big, you can separate it with dark. Just like the Western color, watercolor, you can use gouache to cover up, or dark to cover light. Yeah. Sometimes, I would think to complete something, but as long as the idea is complete, you can leave absent of stroke. As long as don't worry about the mechanic choose the botanic choose, the more with the picture and the composition of things. Maybe there will be a little better. Yeah, I tried, your tendency always make it round, symmetrical. So try to avoid that tendency, natural tendency. Everybody does that, I think. And then try to keep the contrast between the lower petal with the center. Sometimes in Gombi, you might see more light ones around the dark, but not in this kind of side view. So try to keep it simple. In side view, it's easier. Not to like a 3/4 view would be more difficult, I think. So I just sign my name. Peony. And you can write the year. Always good to have a year. This is the year of the ox. For this year, 2021 ox year. They have different code for zodiac. Every 60 years will not repeat. Every 60 years. I don't have to draw any lines because I already see inks there, so that's fine. And you can use, if needed, on the tender leaf, you can add just a orange or brown for accent. Something like that. So red veins on, or orange veins on the tender green leaves and dark on the mature leaves. You don't have to add veins if it already feels the the calligraphy there. You don't have to add more calligraphy. Okay, and seal. Peony is my first lesson from my teacher in 1975. The New Year's, 3 days or 5 days past the Chinese New Year. That's my first lesson. I always remember. I still have that picture. If you take my lesson with DVD, lesson 5, I think, you can see that lesson. It's my first painting class with my teacher Zhang Zhenying. And this is his style. This is his style he would do. And it followed from the great teacher, great teacher Zhang Shuqi's style. This is my teacher's teacher. He used to be a professor in the Central University in Nanjing. And then he moved to China. I mean, from China to US, to the States. After he didn't go to Taiwan as many other artists did. Yeah, this is the style I learned first. Okay, so the more direct style, the light and dark. You can start from the dark and then the light. And this is the colorful leaf. This is a tree peony. You can see the tree trunk here. So notice the difference. This one we did today is the grass peony, which is more common in North America, and maybe you can find it in a local area. It's more common, and in the late spring you can find them in supermarket. The first time I saw was because it's like a birth month flower. When I had birthday around Mother's Day, you will see these flowers. Very nice in flower shops around. Any questions? I have 5 minutes.
Yes, Henry, so if we we do something nice at some point and we want to save it, the paper just seems so delicate. I mean, how do you, I guess you maybe mount it on something. How can we learn about what to do with the paper?
Okay, you mean this absorbent paper? Oh, it doesn't matter, both, right? Yeah, let me show you what we do. Okay, here's the material I use. Is a silicone paper for dry mounting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can mount it directly. This is what we call the method A. You mount the paper directly to this. This could be done.
I
like
see.
this. Yeah.
And how do you mount it to the silicone paper?
This is the silicone paper. Okay, the silicone paper has a release paper, which is not supposed to be long-lasting. So it might, it will not stick to because this is a waxy paper. It's like the bakery paper, the waxy paper. So it's very it's released paper, and you need to transfer it onto a permanent support. Let me show you. Okay, this paper you could use is like a drawing paper. Drawing paper, okay. You can use any white paper, thick enough to support. Watercolor paper would be too good, but it's certainly can be used. Okay, or Bristol paper. We do have a paper that comes with a rough two sides. One is a rough with a rough surface. So it will hold the silicone in bed. But this paper is fine. It's a drawing paper. Okay, it's pounds, something like that, or 75 pounds. So I use an iron, and this is the easiest way to do this. I got 1 minute. I can even do that within the time. Okay, first thing you do is put the silicone paper on top of the support paper. Iron it. No water, no anything. Simply iron it. Okay. Activate. It's a heat activated adhesive film. Okay, and you wait a few seconds to cool it a little bit. If you do it right now, it will still sticky. Oh, it comes off. See, it comes off.
I see. Okay, yes.
It's like a plastic lamination film on this. It's a little bit. It's not. It's on the back of the painting. If you put, sometimes people think to put it on the front, it can still see through, but this is not transparent. It's adhesive. It's just like a paste. So now I put this painting on. It's still damp, which is good. Actually, I need to spray even a little bit of moisture. A little bit of moisture will help to relax the painting. But this is damp, so to avoid bleeding, I spray the dry part, just like this. It's just like an iron shirt. It gives a little moisture. Today, the moisture here is maybe 80%. We got the rain in last 2 days. So it's okay not to spray anything. Not too much, but normally I'll spray and then let it relax a little bit. And see, this paper, it comes with the silicone. Now it's very useful as a dust protecting sheet.
Yes.
On that, so my dirty iron will not stand the.
I see.
So now I'm going to mount it. So a little bit of moisture, and then you go from inside out, from center out. You can go like circular. It's a craft. You need to practice to get used to the speed you're working. You can have lower temperature and do it slowly. You can have a little higher temperature. Temperature I'm working is about like a wall. It's warm.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's probably higher than normal, right? Cotton maybe, or linen, it should be fine. Any temperature is workable. And sometimes it's faster. You want it fast, the temperature could be higher. But
Okay.
not too high to burn
And
it.
so we can do this with any type of rice paper or
Yes,
only with the
also
size?
this is even easier because this non-absorbent, it has less wrinkle to begin with. Yeah, you can, if it has wrinkle like the crinkled paper, I'll spray some water, iron this first.
I see.
Just flatten it first.
Okay.
then Spray it, the same thing. We have instructions to go with the silicone paper, step-by-step instruction and what.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this tutorial. I'm going to keep a watch out for your future tutorials. This was great.
See how color intense, how intensive it is. Now you can put it behind the frame.
Yes.
If there are still wrinkles here, if you can notice, if there's minor wrinkles, spray some more water first,
Mm-hmm.
just a little bit, and then iron. Usually it means you didn't iron enough. You didn't iron enough. So and the wrinkle goes like it's vertical, and then you push it sideways.
I
So
see.
that's what will be flattened. So
Thank
usually,
you so much.
yeah. Thank you for participating, and thank you everybody. The recording will send to you in email, and you if you don't mind, I can upload it to YouTube as well. So
That would be fantastic.
okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye.